Well, welcome, guys. This is the Rollout Podcast. What's up?
You're not even ready to sit down.
No, he just wants to start.
Fuck Jacob.
Right. He's ready to go.
All right.
We ready?
Let's do it.
Alrighty, guys. Welcome back to the Rollout Podcast. We got some special guests with us in the building today. Diego, Matthew, how you guys doing?
Good.
Welcome.
Before we start, we're going to do a little, we're going to shout out our friend who's doing some merch for us. So his company, if you look it up on Etsy, called Bad Goods, BADGUDZ. He's got over 200 different designs up there. He can do different types of stickers, so like ones that go on your clothes, ones that go on your cars, all kinds of stuff. So go hit him up. Good prices.
Yep.
So yeah. All right.
Oh.
Who wants to go first?
I don't know.
Go ahead, guys.
Well,
All right, bro.
Well, just you guys already know me, but they don't know me.
They don't know you. So.
My name is Diego.
How long you been skating?
It's about to be 2 years.
Damn.
Very good.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's going to be 2 years. Yeah, I'm 22, and yeah, I work at Classic.
You work at Classic? Fun.
Pretty
Sounds like fun. Alrighty, Matthew.
Matteus or Matt, whatever you want to, whatever works. Matthew, don't
See,
really
I
care.
didn't know that.
Yeah, it's okay. You guys don't know me all that well. I work at Classic. Been skating for about 4 years, I think. Yeah, pretty much.
good shit.
4 years, and I'm 21. From basically lived my entire life in Utah.
Alright.
What got you into skating, both of you guys?
Yeah, is there a story that got you into skating, or were you just like, looks fun, I'll try it?
Honestly, skating at Sandy on Saturday night.
Oh yeah.
And
Let's go night. Sandy.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to take this serious and just bought my own skates.
Hell yeah.
And then I was like, some pretty cute girls here. I was just skate, you know?
Sandy?
That's the
Sandy,
biggest
really.
motivation,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm my girlfriend, which is sick.
I actually remember I was already skating for a couple years, and he actually hit me up on Snapchat, be like, hey, like, what do you know about skating? Like, where can I get some skates? And like, basically, I gave him the rundown. Basically, taught him how to skate, and I was
Pretty
better
much,
than I am.
Hell yeah.
It was pretty sick.
That's how it goes.
For me, I actually grew up in a neighborhood like on the other side of Classic, you know, that like back road.
Mhm.
So I grew up on the other side of there. So I grew up, you know, going to Classic for, you know, like the elementary school nights and like everything. Like,
Those were the good old
oh
days.
yeah, the good old days, snowball,
Good old days of
crush in
Classic.
like 6th grade.
Oh yeah.
So I'd like always grown up like skating, and I was like, you know, decent at it. Like I couldn't do anything like fancy or anything, like using the rentals, but I would just like, you know, I could stay up.
You can
stay
good
up,
old
yeah.
rentals, man.
Yeah, the good
where you
back
wanna
when
be.
it was like the nasty like green plastic one.
Oh,
I'm talking about.
gosh.
Oh boy, that to give you the blister on the inside of your leg.
Oh man.
So, but then I just kind of started, you know, taking it seriously. My buddy gave me a pair of skates, and yeah,
What were your first pair of skates?
my first pair of skates are the ones I still use today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what about you?
The shirt grips.
Sherbert?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
same ones, yeah. Haven't changed them.
Yep.
Wanted
That's
to.
alright. Well, you'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
Funny story about the plastic skates. So we had this old skater. We've talked about him a couple times on the podcast. Jordan. Jordan refused to buy his own skates, and he would do all the stuff that we did with the plastic rentals. It was the weirdest thing to see, because like everybody else is like, nah, fuck that. And he's like, no, hand me the rentals, let's go.
Wow.
Damn.
And he would do everything that we would do. And we're like, all right, Jordan, fuck you too. Jeez.
Yeah, goodness gracious.
You up, dude.
Yeah,
Shoot, yeah,
that's
I
a
can
good time. Good times back then.
Good times.
Alrighty, let's get into this. Skaters in Utah. Why did you put this up? This is my question.
Because I just...
What do you want to talk about regarding
Just
skaters?
what you guys... I mean, you guys have traveled, obviously, out of state. Even before me. You guys traveled before me. But, like, I just want to get your honest opinion. What do you guys think in the personal life of Utah? What do you think of the skaters that are new skaters, old skaters? What do you think about it?
And don't hold back.
If you guys have to roast us, go for
Exactly.
it.
If you gotta roast me, go right the fuck ahead.
I think so. The culture in Utah, when it comes to skating, is very different than anywhere else.
Yep.
So that's like, I mean, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but you know, coming from an outside perspective, you know, you grew up in Montana, it was probably 10 times different here than.
Oh, it's nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's like good, but I think it's still like kind of young too. Like I think skating, like I've been skating for a long time, but I don't think I've ever really seen like a big group of like good skaters like until I was in high school, like watching you guys when I was starting out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's because in all reality, the generation before us they all grew up and stopped skating. Because we back in Skate Across America days, we were probably 40, 50 deep just in our team. So
really?
No way.
Yeah. So it was, and all of us could. Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time.
Wow.
Yeah, because that was back when jam skating was actually
big.
And we're talking.
I mean, jam skating is still big, but it was
9,
actually
10 years ago.
Really?
Let's see, how do I put this? It was actually skating still instead of just breakdancing. Jam skating used to be more, and I've said this a couple times, but it used to be more like rhythm skating with some power moves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like all power moves and barely any actual skating.
Right.
So, but back in those days, we used to go at least 35 deep on some nights. Yeah. We used to on Saturday nights back when Clay was DJing, which you guys don't know who Clay is, but he DJ'd at Orem probably 10 years ago now, 10, 12 years ago now. But he was the shit. So we would all go. And then Clark would be leading the line, and we'd get, to where it would be, line would start next to the DJ booth, line would end on the back wall. Because before, it didn't have, the carpet, or now where the whole, thing is. It was just straight to the wall. So it would be, the end of the line would be at the back of the wall, and then the skaters just going all the way up to Clark, and we would just go around.
And were they all on beat?
Oh, yeah.
Now?
Yeah. No, we they drilled it into us. They would roast the shit out of you if you were on beat. Just imagine Jay as a 17-year-old, him just not giving a fuck about anything. Yeah, he would roast the shit out of you if you were on beat.
That's funny.
So, yeah. Anyways,
what do you guys think about skaters in Utah? That's my question.
I think this is it's hard to explain. Because, to me, seeing skate culture other places, you do have a good point where our culture is different. It's not what you would necessarily call a real, skate culture. But that's from out of state. So, for our state, it is. But, out of state, people wouldn't say that we have technical culture. We have a community. We have a huge skating community now.
Yeah.
But the culture part, they wouldn't put it on that. But
what do you mean by that?
so, the culture part, and this we talked about it, it's more just, the commitment part of it. There's not, anything that any of them would rather be doing than skating, pretty much. Majority of their time, they're spending, at the rink or, And that's why I say I think some of us have it. There's a good portion of us, but, the whole skating community in Utah, not so much. Other places, the entire skating community comes, every week, every night.
Every week or every single day.
It's it's different. When we went out to Atlanta, now granted this was a party, but this shows you, more, I would say more than half the people in the building were all from Atlanta. And there was 2,000 people on the floor.
Goodness.
And then another 1,000 around on the carpet.
Holy.
When you go to, and we'll have to take you guys out sometime to, a real party, they are massive.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's insanity.
You're basically, touching shoulders at this point, huh?
Oh, yeah. You can't do anything. If you're
not experienced,
I'll show
you videos after this.
There was a couple of our skaters, I kind of did it at the beginning, but then I kind of loosened up.
Yeah.
Where you got on the floor and you're just I'm not doing anything.
It's scared going in the floor, and then it's scared going out of the floor.
Oh my gosh. That's insane.
Well, and especially because, have you guys ever watched ATL?
ATL?
ATL's the T.I. movie. Where he's just skating. Go watch it. This shit's dope. Anyways.
Have you guys watched
famous...
Rollbound?
Yeah. If you know that.
Well, I'm talking about Cascade. That's why I bring ATL. But, so there's this rink Cascade. But on the back wall, there's a full-on probably 2.5-foot step down to the floor. So if you're on that back wall and trying to get on the floor, you have to be ready to jump, get down, and then hurry over because they have these trains that go around the outside.
Yeah.
And with 1,000, 2,000 people doing trains, that train doesn't stop. So you're just waiting for somebody where they've gotten off, and you're okay, here's the gap, and go.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah,
it's insane.
It's fun though, honestly.
Oh, that's a good time.
Yeah, I bet.
That's the thing is I like regional parties because they have the same kind of vibe, but there's only 400, 500.
Yeah.
Usually starting out, and then they get up to 1,000 usually. Cali Slide was big, but
yeah.
Anyways, anything else you want to talk about with Utah skaters?
No, just again, I don't have a problem with anybody skating in Utah coming. You know, if you have your own skates, I respect you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But at this point, like, we were in such a, like, negative vibe and mood for a while that now I just, like, I'm kind of out of that, and I personally, like,
we're trying.
we're trying to get back in that
And
grind.
it's honestly,
it was a few years ago.
It's honestly sad because it wasn't your guys' fault.
It was.
We kind of took it out on you guys. It was like the generation right before you. That's when the rift started.
And then, like,
because
we
taught them everything that they knew.
Really?
And then they would come back and try and diss us and say that they're better skaters than we are, and we're like, oh, really? You think so?
Yikes.
That's how
So, and it like bounced off, and then, you know,
Yeah.
it kind of got us in that, you know, personal vibe and mood.
Right.
You know, oh, fuck you guys. If you guys, you know, we're teaching you how to be good.
That was my thing. I was just mad because it's like, we taught you legit everything you know, and then you want to come step to us and be like, oh, yeah, we're better than you.
Yeah.
No.
He's cocky. I've had some beef with him sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's the kid that I made cry.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yep.
Yeah, but
So,
good times.
Good times. Good
Anyway.
times. But I don't even know where I was. Oh, yeah. So, like, I respect, you know, a lot of these skaters, but, like, again, like, I'm now back to that point where, like, I want to teach people. I want to be the example of you guys.
Right.
Well,
and
we've had talks about it before.
But, like, I'm kind of tired of, you know, the fake-ass bullshit. Like, if you're coming in and, you know, you're having a few missteps here and there, like, I'll obviously tell you, but not try to, like, oh, fuck you because of that.
Yeah.
So.
I think, it's definitely, like, when it comes to teaching people, like, I think, me personally, I'm always, like, I'm all for learning. Like, if you see me messing up, like, you guys will always be like, you know, loosen up. Like, when we were doing, I remember we were doing the groove and glide this one time, you're like, yo, relax when we do the sway. I was like, okay. And then it just, like, feels a little bit better when I do it. And then just a couple other, I don't know, what do you call it?
It was a 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
the one
what
we
do you call
do,
it?
the one we just started doing after Vegas trip.
Oh,
The one where you guys, like, lean. I think it is so sick.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, you still need to relax a little bit. Like, I'm all for stuff like that. Like, let me know, call me out, like, as long as you're not being, like, rude about it. But So it's like, but I'm never gonna come out and be like, oh, like, you're, like, an asshole for it. Like, I want to, like, I feel like,
and sometimes, you know, people call me out for it, and sometimes you have to. And that's why, like, again, like, if you guys thought we were rude to you, like, for my personal point, I'm sorry. But, you know, like,
I'm not. Fuck you guys.
But, you know, hey, we make mistakes, and you got to learn from them. So
Well, that's the thing too. Is like, like I said, we were raised in a different generation where, like, when you fuck up, it's not like a hey, fix this. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what the hell? Right? So, like, we would get roasted for not doing shit right. So then, like, it's kind of hard for us to, like, relay the message without reverting back to that. And being like, what the fuck are you doing? You know.
I understand.
At least that's my issue. I don't know if that's anybody else's
even
issue,
they still roast me when I do shit. Yeah, like, in our little group that obviously I would love for you guys to join Salt City Skaters. We're trying to get the skating community back out there.
That's more Rollout's job than Salt City. Salt City, like I said, we want to change the mindset because that was kind of the mindset before, and I think we got a little overwhelmed with trying to get people there. We want to focus more on, like, let's make the skaters that want to be good, like, really good. Like, make them the cream of the crop of Utah. That's what we want to do now.
Like I said, like, if you come, you have your own skates, you want to do your own thing, go for it.
Go ahead. Like,
but, like, if we see that, you know, you're trying, you want to be like us, like I'll say, I would love for you guys to be part of the Salt City Skaters because you guys have a lot of potential and you're still really young. But like
young skating wise.
But like, you know, to the rest of the people, like if they're just coming and doing their own thing, like I'm not gonna reach out to you and have that one-on-one talk like I did with you and a bunch of other skaters. So, but so
I think that was a problem with Salt City too, is that like we were trying to get everybody, but then it almost seemed like we were alienating everybody, so it was just like this weird dynamic because we were all pissy because, like, well, one, because everybody was trying to get better, but then we were teaching the same shit every week, so people were pissy about that because they weren't progressing at any rate, and then we weren't getting people to sign on because, we were the exclusive asshole group, so I don't know.
I will say, you guys were intimidating as hell when I, like, first, like, saw you guys, like, as a big group, and I was like, holy, I was like,
Yeah.
how am I supposed to like try and like get that good? And I'd be like seeing you guys and be like, what am I supposed to do? Like,
Yeah.
How do?
You just hop in.
Yeah. Well, like
You gotta
I know
just
that
hop in.
now, but like
Yeah.
when I was like new to skating, that was
Yeah.
definitely like whoa.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
I first started skating, I like sit across the cool bench. I'd be like, holy shit, dude, I want to be a part
I
of
want
that
to go to
so
that bench
bad.
so bad.
Dude, like-
That's the funny thing that everyone thinks that like that's our bench, dude. Anybody can
Yeah.
sit there. Like we,
Oh yeah.
like
Nah,
that's just where we sit.
That's
That's
our
our
bench.
No,
bench.
that's
All right, that's our bench. That's our bench.
God damn.
Because even if someone else is sitting there, we just like stuff our shit in front of people's shit. Like,
Yeah.
You know,
We-
we're
we
gonna
do
sit
that.
there eventually or
Yeah.
at any point. But
But
funny
that's our
enough,
bench.
that used to be the cool bench. Used to be the back wall.
The back, yeah.
But-
where
Oh,
Ritz is
where-
now.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That used
was
to be
like,
the cool wall.
That's
yeah,
really
that was right after the new building got built. Dang.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so
Hello.
old. So old in the
A long
skating
time
game.
ago.
Yeah, I remember Classic when it was just the rink.
Oh, me too.
Dude,
That's when
same.
I first
was
started
crazy.
skating.
I used to snowball with the scooter.
That's,
You would.
Sad.
You
I know.
would.
Yeah. One hand
Yeah.
on the handlebars, one hand with the girl.
oh, I hated those kids so
I mean-
bad.
I mean,
they could
respect
never
for
stay
still
up, so
shooting
then
it.
they'd like wobble all over the
Yeah.
place and then get in your way. And you're like, God damn it! Like I'm trying to associate with this hoe, and you're getting in my way. The worst was little kids back then, because like now, like because there is the other side, little kids
Yeah.
don't really skate all that much anymore.
Right.
And even if they do, they're the ones that like try and like stick to the inside and not
Yeah.
cause problems, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Dude,
But
that's
back in the
thing.
day, like, I remember this one time I was going backwards hella fast. This is one of the reasons why I don't go backwards now. I was going backwards hella fast, and this kid, because the bounce houses, they used to do them in the middle.
Yeah.
So
Shut
they would-
up, no
yeah,
way.
I
oh,
remember
yeah.
that.
So in the summer, they would have the middle would be like 3 different bounce houses, and then you'd skate around the outside. But then there was a crosswalk on where the like party room side is now. There was a crosswalk going across the middle, right? So I'm going fast as shit around, and this kid just runs out right in front of me, and I legit hit this kid so hard I did like a backflip. I was like, boosh! I was like, oh shit!
Oh,
And the kid's just sitting there crying, and the mom's like, I'm so sorry. Like she's saying sorry to me. I'm like, I probably just killed your child. Like, don't think about me.
yeah.
Oh man, good times.
Good times,
Good
man.
times. Good times in the
Oh,
old school classic. Anyways, alrighty. Since we have a DJ here, let's get into the music.
and the music part.
All right.
So, what were you thinking when you thought of music?
First of all, like, good job. You've been doing really good lately.
Thank you. Appreciate
And the fact that you had the balls to come up and, you know, when you asked Jacob, what do you mean by this?
Yeah.
That's my
That
favorite.
that showed us a lot of respect.
Well, then, so many respect. It showed that he's actually listening.
Yeah,
'Cause like I said, my biggest pet peeve is when you come up and you're like, "What should I play?" No,
it. Right.
I want you to play your own shit,
Yeah.
but I want it to be in a pattern that's gives a flow to the nights where we're not like
Just upbeat the whole
fucking
time.
here. No, it's not even upbeat. Like that night that we talked about on that podcast,
Yeah.
legit, it was like this like middle beat, just all night long. So it was like a little too fast to do backups to, but then a little too slow to like really like do shuffle skating to. So it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the whole night we're just like, oh,
Yeah.
like, this is
Yeah.
ridiculous. But
But
Anyways.
like we gave a
Mhm.
few people here and there a lot of shit about their music, but like, what do you think? Like what?
So, I think, so like this kind of goes back to like the culture part of the skating, like in Utah. So one specific instance I was like thinking about that like kind of got like my head turning on about this thing is just like, so I played this one song. I played, what was it? Oh, I think it was like "Only Girl" by Rihanna,
Mhm.
which, my personal opinion, an absolute just banger.
Yeah.
So like it's pretty good to skate to, like really like a beat song.
Mhm.
And there was a certain individual who gave me just a fat thumbs down. I saw him do it twice, and I was like, okay, well that kind of sucks. Like me personally, like I don't know, that kind of like kills your like mood.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
as a DJ, like
I think we all know who this person is.
yeah, I'm not gonna say their name. Like no disrespect, like I understand like what he was trying to say and everything. Like maybe like it wasn't his song, but like the thing is he didn't really like it. But the thing is, literally not even a second after he gave me that thumbs down, I saw this big group of like 20 girls just belting the chorus, just
Oh,
like
yeah.
top of their lungs. And they're having a good ass time. Oh yeah, they're having a freaking great time, which is like interesting to me how it like how that like culture part comes in. Like
Yeah.
me, I love like old school music, like throwbacks, but like it also entices like old Rihanna, old Pitbull, like Neo, Chris Brown, like stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Mhm.
And like the songs you gave me that one night, I love them, and it's like it's not really not necessarily I don't like those songs. I do like them, but like it wasn't like things that like I thought of necessarily when it came to like throwback music. And so it's like the difference between like certain individuals, and like kind of goes back into the culture, like how like a lot of these like typically a lot of just like white girls that come to skate, or like white guys who come to skate. Like, well, also, I mean, no disrespect. I'm just saying that's like the majority of the crowd. There's not a lot of, you know, Latina kids or stuff like that. And so,
Hey, you're not
and
wrong.
if
when
they
you're
were,
right.
they would be right next to me. They would be right next to
when
me.
you're right. That's all I'm
Exactly. I would have two on each side. And so it's just like, you know, when it comes to the music, like obviously, like when you were talking about, you know, the rising and the falling when as a DJ, like I wanted to know about that and like, what was I trying to say? Just like having like a good like tempo for the night and like a good like energy. And so it's just, but like I don't know, it kind of sucks when like people like do stuff like that. Like I understand you might not like the song and that's fine, but like
Keep it low key.
Like keep it low key and like why you gotta come at me personally like that? Like
Yeah.
if it comes to one person versus 20 others, like
It's not like
I mean, what am I supposed to do? Like
at that point, so it's like, all right, fuck you. I'll do my shit.
yeah, I mean,
But like when you have 20 people on your ass, then it's like
then it's a problem.
okay.
Then it's a problem.
Well,
But-
and even then, it's not really like. It is a problem if you're actually worried about those 20 people.
Right.
If that makes any sense. Because in all reality, like, if a DJ doesn't give a shit about the group of people that are saying, fuck this music, then it's like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, you're never going to get what you want.
Right.
But, like, I think, going back to the person that gave you a thumbs down, like, that's how they are out in Cali.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
they are very, like, outspoken in that way. Like, if a DJ's fucking up, they're going to be the ones that
right,
go
right.
up
They
and they're
could
like,
give
yeah.
two
They're
fucks
like,
about
hell
how
no.
that DJ feels.
Right.
They'll just
Exactly.
say it.
Yeah.
like,
So-
and so that's where, like,
The culture comes
his culture comes in,
Right.
where it clashes with ours a little bit, is like in that area, and like him and Alvaro have gotten into it a couple times because of the clash that hasn't been understood yet. If that makes any sense.
And like I said, there's no just like I'm not trying to throw shade on
No,
this
no,
person
no.
or anything like that. Like I understand like skating is like a really big part of his life, like just like all of us, and so
Yeah.
he's very passionate about it. Totally okay. Like I don't know, it just kind of sucked for me. Like kind of like killed my like I was super stoked to do it, and I was really nervous if I'm being completely honest. To, like because like I don't know, your guys' group is like you know some people we like really like look at like
up to you.
Yeah.
like
Yeah, and like you know like how much disrespect we gave to a few people.
Yeah.
That kind of like on Dennis's episode, that's what kind of like made us switch our mind, and that's why yesterday like I woke up at 7 a.m. and we were like, all right, let's skate outside, and I just started promoting it everywhere, and
awesome.
and that's I would like next time we do that I would love for you guys to join.
for sure.
Like,
Absolutely.
it was such a
It looked like a blast.
it was
fun.
such a
It was
blast,
fun.
dude.
Yeah.
So.
And when you start to get more people and more people,
Then it like that
grows even
when
more.
the community and like the culture vibe comes.
That's- yeah, exactly.
because it trust me, if there would have been like an extra 10, 20 people, bro, you guys would have had a blast.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
so.
It looked like a lot of fun. I wish I could have made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually we'll get there.
Eventually.
I think we're gonna do a big outdoor party here in I think June or July.
We're
I'm not
more
sure.
like May.
Well, I know Dennis is doing his thing.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
A big-
Skate, I'm talking about Skate Connections.
Yeah.
Gonna do an outdoor one.
Yeah.
Pretty quick, but
Wish I could.
Yeah, we won't be here, but
You'll be here, but
I will.
none of us will.
yeah, well, I hope it's a great time.
we'll see.
No, but,
If I have to drive 15 hours, why the fuck not? For a good ass time, yeah.
no,
I'm down.
Let's see. Oh, I had something else to say. That's like when it comes to like music and stuff like that. I think like we were saying, like a big thing like with the culture is like there. But one thing that I've kind of noticed when it comes to like the Salt Lake City skaters is like you guys definitely have this big culture, which is really cool. And me as like someone who like really is like into skating, like more than most people, I think it's interesting. And like most people like can see it, like especially if like you have your own skates, like you're like more into skating than others. Everyone can see it, and like I think it's cool how you guys really want to share it. But I think as of recently, what I've noticed is it's not just being shared, but it's kind of being a little bit forced, if that makes sense.
True.
Yeah.
So like
about that.
like when you guys like started roasting some of the DJs, like I think a lot of what you said was valid, but I think a lot of it also was just like kind of like, I mean, you guys said like the negativity that was kind of just being forced.
Yeah.
And so like I don't know like what it is with that. That's just what I've noticed. Like with it all. You know, I think it's cool how you guys want to share it, and I'm more than like I want to be a part of it as well. I want to like learn, but like not like kind of like on my own terms, not like it being forced.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I said, we've had problems with this in the past, and we're trying to fix that kind of stuff. I think when it comes to like the way that we said what we said, like I said, that comes back to our, like, at least for me, that's my old school mentality. Like, when you're fucking up, I'm gonna roast the shit out of you. Right. And like I said, we've tried to calm that down a little bit, but I mean, some of it's still funny to me. So, like I said, I'm one of those people that like I'm gonna say what I want to say. If you disagree with it, you'll disagree with it. But you know, at the end of the day, like
that's
I
the
said,
thing, like you said,
this is what I would rather have is like you coming on and having the conversation and saying, this I don't really fuck with it this way, and then us like talking through it, then like me saying it, and then you just being silently mad. And just being like, well, fuck them, and then we're like, all right, cool, like, whatever.
I just think, like, for me, like, personally, like, as a DJ, like, it definitely, like, it gets in your head. Really easily.
Oh, trust me.
And so, like, I don't know, that, like, first night, like, or the second night when I was DJing, I was, like, really, like, nervous, because, like, that was when that podcast had come out, and so I was like, oh, shit, like, I gotta put out, and so I was just, like, really nervous, and I realized, like, I wasn't, like, really enjoying it as much as I did the first time, because, like, I was just so, like, worried about, like, you know, what are they thinking, you know? And so, like, as soon as I, like, let go and, like, realize, you know, I'm just gonna have a good time. Like,
and that's why, you know, we've talked to you and the rest of the DJs, you know, like, we're gonna stop doing this shit, but, like, if you fuck up here and there, like, we'll talk about it, but, like, you know, like, again, like, we're kind of, like, I'm personally done with, like, that negativity shit.
Yeah, which is great.
But, like,
well, I think to me it's the attitude behind it.
It's
like,
the attitude
this
behind
is the
it
one
as
thing
well.
that I think, like with Paul, is, like, the fact that he's actually trying to change it, and he's, like, I think he's still pissed at us, but, like, he's at least putting in the effort. That's what I would rather have. Like I said, if you don't like me, but you're wanting to do a good night every night to spite me, go right the fuck ahead. I'm fine with that. Like, that just serves me in my purpose, so that just makes your life miserable because you're hating on me while I'm having a good time. Right? So that's why I don't think you should, like, think about the opinions of us as much, because in our reality, like, I DJ'd public sessions at Sandy.
Okay.
Right? So, like, I kind of know what I'm talking about when it comes to DJing, and it's like, there are certain points where it's like, this is for everyone else. But I think what frustrates us is we see that the community is there, and I think it excites us a little bit because we've had such a small community for the last couple of years. So that's why I think the forcing part comes on. Right. Okay. So it's like we're excited to see everybody there, and we're like, okay, well, let's show them what culture really is, and then it's like, then we maybe push a little too far, and then that's when it gets into that realm of, you know, where we look like cocky little assholes.
I think any DJ is going to be willing to, like, hear what you have to say and then, like, you know, take some pointers here and there. I just think, you know, from what I noticed in that, like, one episode, it was a little bit more, like, I felt like it was a little bit more, like, instead of, like, how do I say it, like, critiquing, it was more a little bit, like, shit talk.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. I won't deny it. Like I said, that episode, the thing is, I was pissed that episode for two reasons. One is because it wasn't the first time that this had happened, right? Like, this was a reoccurring thing with Paul. Every time he DJ'd, it was like, I would sit on the bench for an hour waiting for something decent to come on. And then it would be something decent, but then the energy's, like, way down here, and I'm like, why am I even here at this point, right? And then, and like I said, I don't know if this is true. Paul said it isn't true, but I still haven't asked Lacey about this, but she told us that he was talking shit on her. And it's like, for us, a DJ that we see, like, you, like, in our opinion, like I said, this is all our opinions. It's not like this is facts, right? In our opinions, you're not doing the job right, and then you want to talk shit on a DJ that we actually support and would have there every night if we could, right? Now I think we'll throw you into that mix, of course, because you're doing a lot better than Homeboy has in the past couple months, right? And so, like, I think that's where, like, it was almost like I was just, like, irritated and aggressive and was just like, like, I should show you guys, like, this episode that I recorded with Jay, because originally Jay was supposed to be the new co-host, and then he got busy and backed out. But anyways, we recorded this rehearsal episode. It was right after Dennis quit, right? And when I tell you think Paul's was bad, I was going hard. I was like, fuck him. He's a fucking pussy.
Yeah.
He's not willing to
And
deal with the
that's why
backlash. Fuck him. Like,
we'll put it out there. No, maybe.
no.
But we'll show it to you guys. But
We'll show it to you after we're done. But
bad.
it's rough.
It was bad. And that's why Jacob stopped coming for about like
I stopped coming
two-ish
for about
weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah, because I was just like,
Really?
if I see him, I'm gonna swing on him.
Yeah.
And that's like where, well, because it's like I said, my personality is I'm going to say what I want to say. If
Right.
people don't agree with it, you don't agree with it, right? So, and that's what I thought his personality was at that point,
Yeah.
right? But then he backtracked, and I was like, why the fuck are you backtracking? Like,
Yeah.
what's the issue? And so then when we had him back on and he explained it, I was like, okay, that makes more sense now.
Yeah.
And that's where it does make more sense, where we do maybe criticize more than we congratulate.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't think that we should shy away from the criticism. We maybe should just change the way that we talk about it with certain people. Like I said, if you're disrespectful to us, then that's when the gloves come off, and I'm going to
at that point,
you know?
Yeah.
But like, I don't think Paul was to that point yet, and that's where I may be fucked up in that way. But like I said, it was more frustration than it was like I don't like you.
Right.
Yeah.
Type of deal.
Yeah, that's understandable. I don't know if like he ever, from my knowledge, I know he was never talking shit or anything like that, but I do know for a fact that he did congratulate like Lacey. Like, remember one time we were walking out and he said, "Man, Lacey killed it tonight."
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, she did a really good job." And he said, this was his exact words. He said, "She did better than I ever could have." Like, he even said that. Like, and so I think, I don't know, like, things obviously like get thrown out there and then they get mixed up. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
But I know that, Paul's obviously like one of my really good friends.
Yeah.
So I want to defend him as much as I can. Yeah. And so I know that he's always like, willing to like admit his faults in that sense. So,
yeah. Well, and that's where when he DM'd us, that's where we had the conversation on Instagram, which I won't share, but we shared a little bit of it a couple episodes ago. But like I said, and we said this in the Moe's episode. I think Paul's a cool person.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's a dope person. I think if he wasn't a DJ, then we'd probably be homies. Like, he'd probably be in our skating group, or at least close to it, right?
Yeah.
But then when you throw the DJ, and that's the thing is, I caught this hate too when I was doing Epics. Like, my own skating group turned on me as a DJ because we're so strict about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's honestly, it's because of skate parties. Skate parties have ruined Salt City because now that's what we see as culture. So anything other than that is ass to us.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that's where I messaged him one night. I think it was after we went to Logan.
Yeah.
And I said, we got to change our attitude on what we see as a good night. Because if Lacey is a good night, then anything below that is going to be ass. Like, that's not the bar we should set.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, we got to try and define what an actual good night is. And then when someone surpasses that, then it kind of turns into like a great night for us, which is what we kind of did on your second night. Because, like, I didn't really know what to expect. Because in all reality, I don't know if you remember this, but your first time DJing, I kind of cussed you out from the floor.
Did you really?
Yeah, because you were making an announcement about masks.
About masks. It was when it was like
and I was
mandatory.
I was
and
already like in a pissy mood because like nobody showed up to skating, and I was like, damn, y'all, like,
Yeah.
Because that's the thing is like we said with skate culture, it doesn't matter who's DJing, it doesn't matter like what's going on in life, like they're there every skate night that's available, they're there. Right? So like when you see our group that's bitching and complaining about the culture, and then you're not showing up on the skate nights, it's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
Who are you to talk about culture when you're not here?
Yeah.
Right? And so it's like, I was already mad at that, and then you were making mass announcement, and then you cut off the music and turned on the lights to do it one time.
Yeah.
And I was just like, bro, what the fuck? Shut the fuck up!
I don't remember that. Well, I remember I had to make the announcements because my manager came over and she was like, "Look, it's getting really bad." Like, because that's when things were obviously getting really bad at the time. So she was like, "Just making a mask announcement," and then she told me to do that, and I was like, "All right, we're gonna do it." So I thought it was kind of funny and like personally, like people were getting so like butthurt, and I was like, "Look, I just work here. Like
I just work here, and if I don't say it, I have to leave.
Like, regardless of my opinion about the mask, like I gotta do it. Like,
honestly, but that was like the most irritating thing, and like funny, but like at the same time, like kind of fucked up. It was like, you guys have been open for 6 months. You've never done an announcement like that, and like the one night that we were in the mood to skate, like that shit happened. Like, oh my god.
What?
But like, hey, like
it's funny now. Like I understand how it was,
we're here
like
now.
Said,
like
we said this on the last episode, I think. It's like when we get mad, we're not actually like mad. Like we just get frustrated, and then we're a little more like vocal and like emotional about it.
Right.
But we're not like pissed, right?
Yeah.
We're just like irritated with the situation.
Yeah.
And the only thing we can do is talk shit about it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, alrighty, moving on. Skating
So
/
you-
life goals.
Well, we didn't really talk about you guys working at Classic.
Oh man,
No,
I
it's all
skipped
good.
over that.
So, how long have you guys been working at Classic? And what made you work at Classic?
So I started in June because he told me to apply.
Yeah,
He was like, "Come work here." I was like, "All
right."
Yeah, I had just come back from Brazil and I had nothing to do and I had no money, so I was like, "Okay, all right,
Yeah.
you know, why not?" So
Mine was like,
That's an interesting place to work.
dude,
How long have you worked there? I don't even know how long you've worked there.
I think for like a year and a half now.
Oh, shit.
Not bad.
Yeah, the main reason why I started, because I started skating,
Yeah.
and then they needed a rink guard.
Oh yeah.
So then like Emmy, Brinley, they were getting super close. And they're like, oh, you should be a rink guard, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, easy.
Yeah.
Easy dub.
Easy
oh,
money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
get paid to skate.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Then I went on to do sales, and that shit went bad. Really bad.
Who did you go with?
I did pest control, podium.
Oh, God.
Dude, yeah. And with the
Yeah.
mask and all that,
Oh boy.
COVID, worst time. Then I came back, and then I became a facility manager, and then shit.
Nice. Do you
Yeah.
personally like working there?
I really enjoy it.
I like it. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Do you guys work full time, or
Yeah.
do they cut like your hours back and forth?
My availability is pretty much full time.
Okay.
Like other than like a night to skate and like another night to have like a game night with my homies. But like other than that, yeah, it's like I'm available full time. But then they just like put us where they need us, I guess, for hours.
All right.
and stuff,
Yeah,
so.
I'm full time as well, just like Monday through Friday or Saturday when they need me. But yeah, I enjoy it. I mean, people there are super close.
Oh yeah.
They're like family to me.
Oh yeah. Our
We try
staff.
to,
Our
we
staff
try to
is
like, protect
very-
everyone.
Yeah.
But,
That's good. I'm glad to hear that the staff's changed.
Yeah.
Because when
Yeah,
I
like,
worked there, it
he
was
worked
a
there.
fucking nightmare.
What's it like?
We were just a whole bunch of drama and shit talking.
Dude, when I first
It was
started,
bad.
it was like that as well, dude.
Yeah,
Really?
it was real.
Really
it
bad.
was,
Yeah.
and they had even weeded out a couple people at that point when
Yeah.
you started. Like when I was working there, because I worked there about 4 years ago, almost 3.5, 4 years ago, something like that. And it was just bad. There was just people that clashed and then would talk shit with the people that they liked, some people that they clashed with,
Yeah.
and then it would
boy.
cross, and it was just like, it was just a.
Yeah, all I'm
it was
saying is
just a
don't
shit
date
show.
or have a date with like, anyone you're working with. That
like
shit
that's
goes
just a good-
downhill, dude.
Yeah.
I've been there, done that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just
Many times.
that's just good life
It's like
advice
a-
in general. It's
yeah.
not even just for classic. It's just
It's a no-go. Just,
oh,
I've done that.
I
mean, I don't know, because my fiance is someone I worked with, so
Oh really?
Oh, really?
you know,
That's cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
We both worked at Sandy Classic.
Okay.
She was actually the one that got me hired on the first time.
oh, really?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was a bum and didn't have any money.
Yeah.
She was like,
ass.
all right, well, come work. Yeah, exactly.
Broke
I
ass.
was broke. You think I'm broke now? That was when I was sleeping in my Suburban most nights.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I
remember that.
I was broke. But so she was like, come work private parties and come work like a little
Yeah.
bit of extra shifts and stuff. And I was like, I mean, might as well.
Yeah,
You know,
why not?
make some extra cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I took a little break because I thought I was going to be doing business with my stepdad, and then that fell out. He's
Shit.
lazy. So then I went back to Classic, and then I worked there until last March.
Yeah. Right when
April.
COVID hit.
Yeah, it was right
Oh,
when they shut
really?
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when I stopped working.
At the Sandy one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I worked there for probably 2.5 years by the time I quit.
Yeah.
And I mean, I thought Orem was bad when it came to talking shit. Sandy's a whole different animal. It's
Really?
ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
It's bad, bro.
ridiculous.
Jeez.
Like everybody has an issue with everybody, but then they're all just like keep it
Really?
quiet because we're at work. Yeah.
What the
Oh,
heck?
man.
Well, it's not just that. It's like, it's all the skaters that, like, the daily skaters that come that have problems with workers. The workers have problems with them.
Really?
It's a whole
What?
shit show.
It's
Yeah, it's
It's
bad,
terrible.
bro.
Jeez. No, I can imagine that. We're all like
We're
such
so-
good homies.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
like close.
I definitely see that when I walk in, and I like that.
Oh, it's like
yeah.
my favorite thing. Like I walk in, I start messing with my coworkers.
Yeah.
Like it's just
Yeah.
like it's fun. Like we have this big group chat. Like with most of us in it, if they're not in it. Like
Yeah.
we're like, all right, well, why aren't you in it? We start getting them in it. Like
Yeah.
it's very like it's very like inclusive, like but like we like always like pulling people in to do things. Like that's what I really like about it.
Yeah, and that's
Tiny
that's
things.
what like I'll personally say. Like me and Dennis, we've been trying to do that a lot lately. Like not like you guys workers, but like we just want people to you know just to be part of us. Like even if even if you know us, like I've been like I normally don't talk to the workers, but lately I've been just like what girls, the lady workers are going, what's up, Geary? Like, what you been up to? Like, I'm just trying to be like the nice guy.
Yeah.
Again. And like I'm not trying to be fake about it. Like I'm just trying to be, you know, the nice guy again. So.
Again, what are you talking about?
He was pretty nice when I first started. He like came up to me. He's like looking at my skates. He's like, "Oh, you got this and this and this." And I didn't know anything about skates, so I was like, "Dude, yeah,
sure,
yeah, 100%." And he started, of course. That's how I remember meeting you.
Me and Alvaro go way back.
Oh,
though.
dude, so
Crazy.
yeah. So our parents have known each other from all the way from Chile.
No way, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
crazy.
since my dad was like in his 20s.
Yeah.
That's
we
sweet.
knew each other.
And her mom and
Her mom.
No, your mom goes way back with my dad.
Yeah.
Her brothers and all that. So, and then we came here, and then he was in like you were about to graduate.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of I used to do a lot of dancing, and his sister was part of the dancing group, and then that's when like we first met, and then like after that, like I didn't know about you till you went on your mission.
Yeah.
Well.
Sleepover
mission.
Yeah.
And then that's when he started coming roller skating, and then that's when like I was like,
yeah. Like,
all right, Diego, like let's start being homies. Like why the fuck not?
That's funny.
Why the fuck?
I mean, I guess we can be friends.
We have
Might
to.
as well.
So you went to so your parents are from Brazil, right?
Yes. So my parents. So actually, my entire family. They're all from São Paulo, Brazil.
Okay.
So they're all like both my parents, my oldest brother, my sister, and my other brother. They were all born in Brazil. And then afterwards, they moved to the U.S. And then I was born here in Utah.
Okay.
And I lived in Utah basically my entire life. Like we lived a little bit in West Valley until I was like 4 or 5. Moved to Georgia for a couple of years. Nice. This place has my heart. I literally love Georgia so much. Then we came back, and basically, we've been in the Orem area ever since.
Nice, dude.
That's cool.
And then, when was your family freaking out when you got called to Brazil?
Oh yeah, it was insane. My mom was in hysterical, just tears. My dad was screaming, was freaking out. It was
and then,
crazy.
how long were you in Sao Paulo?
So I was actually in Rio.
Rio.
So I was in Sao Paulo for 3 weeks, like in the MTC there, and then afterwards I served for 8 months in Rio, and some really big favelas. I've been to it. Like if you've seen like the movie.
Bro, the
Rio,
favelas, bro, in Rio. Bro,
they're pretty nice.
Bad.
They're pretty nice. Not gonna lie.
Man. My mom went there when I was on her tummy, and like she wore jewelry and stuff, and like bro, it just like you think like people here are cocky, bro. You don't fuck in the favelas, bro.
No, like you walk in and guys literally have like just AKs basically.
They just have them like holding
chilling out, and
like you can't fuck with one of them.
Okay,
boom, you're out.
There's this one time I remember walking past. I was talking to these people like up this hill a little bit, and I smelled something. It just smelled it was stank, and I was like, what is that? I look over, I see these guys like smoking down like I think it's like some strain of weed. It was just super nasty. I was like, what the heck? And then I literally see like right next to him this table, and these guys are just pulling out bricks, and I was like, oh, right. Okay. I was like, and I just like turned to like continue the conversation. I was like, okay, but like here's our number, like call us, we'll call you. Like we gotta go. It was very.
That's my favorite thing about missionaries is like whatever situation you're in, you just have to be like, all right, cool.
It was just like, we were like in the middle of something deep. It was actually really fun. I remember we were talking about this family and like how their mom died, and it was like super. It was a really emotional conversation, and then like they were like finishing up, and then I was kind of like, we kind of need to go. I felt really bad, but like we ended up talking to them later. They were great people, but it was very. I'm like, I'm really not trying to be here.
And then you got sent back home.
Yeah. So then because of COVID, came back.
Did they still like count it as a full mission or?
Technically, no. don't think so. Like, I got a reassignment.
Did you want to come back, or did you have to come back?
So I had to come back.
Okay.
So me being like Brazilian, I had dual citizenship.
Oh,
so I have a Brazilian passport and an American passport.
Okay.
So like I had a little bit more like leeway when it came to stuff like that, but they said any person who is like from the U.S., like living in the U.S., like if your family's there, you gotta go. Like, so they didn't even give me an option to leave. So they were just like, you gotta
And
go.
do you still go to church now, or have you kind of like been liking off?
I still go to church.
Okay.
So
Do you have your, like, we talked about this on the last podcast, but did you want to go on a mission because you wanted to, or because you had people forcing you to go?
So I wanted to go on a mission only because I wanted to.
Okay.
So that I was like, that is a really big problem I've noticed, like with a lot of people going out just because of outside influences, and I never really wanted that for me. If I'm being completely honest, like growing up, a mission was never something I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, like life just happened, and like one thing after another. Like a really big like influence for me was like some of my closest homies at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a group of 4 of us. It was my buddy Ethan, Taylor, and Jaden. And like we would all like just be together, and they all had their mission calls, and at that point like they were just like talking about it. And then like I remember just one day just had like this big like literally like the only thing I can explain is just like just like slap in the face. Just like I was in my room and I just started bawling. It was crazy. And so I like had this like feeling. I was like, okay, I gotta go. And so then I started like the long process of, you know, being able to go. And so it took me about a year from like when I decided to go to actually go. So it was definitely something I wanted for me the most. Like I wasn't gonna let anything else change that. So
Yeah.
Sweet. And then you can talk about this or not, but
Yeah.
like what made you go on a mission, and then what the hell happened at the MTC?
At the time, I was dating this one girl.
Mm-hmm.
She was super cool, and then I met her. Well, me and this kid, I talked with him. His name is Ben. He was gonna go on a mission. He like motivated me to go on a mission, like all this stuff. And then I get my mission call. Get called to go to Chicago, right? And then they're like, all right, your like due date is like to go out is October, which is in 5 months since I did it. And that's when I started skating. That's when I met so many cool people and all that stuff. And I was like, damn. And then I met some people. I wasn't doing the right things and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't think it's the right thing to go anymore. And I was like 2 weeks before I was about to leave. And then the day came to me leaving, and I was there, and I was like I wasn't prepared. Like I wasn't preparing myself to go out and stuff. And I was like, I mean, I wasn't ready like at all. So then I was like, you know what? I should come home. I talked to the person, like the president there. He was an asshole, dude. He's like, when you leave, your life's gonna be ass, like blah blah.
Oh,
Like,
fuck that, bro.
I was like, what do you mean, like private decision and stuff? And then this guy, he was super chill. He like played. He was a athletic director for the NBA for the Celtics.
Oh, okay.
Shoot.
Yeah. So he was like, you know what, like totally understand. Like you're like, if you don't want to be here, don't be here. I like cried, like balls. I'm like, yeah, I just feel like terrible for being here.
Some
like,
people, just really, they're not meant to go on a mission.
Yeah.
And that's what I've told Jacob. Like, even my mom, like, she has her personal feelings about it. But I told her, like, even though I'm not going on a mission, like, I'm going to have a mission here, you know, in life. Like, I haven't gone to church in months. I barely went on Sunday, but even before that, I haven't gone in freaking months. But, like, if you don't go on a mission, like, you're not going to hell, buddy. Like, you have to, you have to understand that. But, like, even when you meet, like, new people that aren't Mormon, like, it's just such a different vibe. Like, they're not, you know, like, I'm, like, he was Mormon. But, like, you know, we have people in the group that are Catholic, or there are other, like, it's just, like, it's such a, like, group connection that, like, like, it's not all about, like, Mormon shit.
Yeah.
So.
I think, when it comes to, like, you know, religion, I'm never gonna, like, especially, like, after seeing the things I've seen in Brazil, like, meeting the people I've met, like, so many cool people, and, like, even, like, the friends I have now, a lot of my friends, like, aren't members of the church, which is, like, totally fine, like, and I just, personally, I think they're a lot, like, better people than a lot of people who are members of the church, like, just because you're, you know, going to be a part of some kind of religion doesn't make you better than anyone, doesn't make you, like, more, like, entitled to God's blessings and stuff like that. Like, no, like, people, like, you can be a good person by, doing what is right, like, regardless of what you think that is, like, being nice to someone, helping someone with their groceries, taking them out to the car, something like, whatever you see, like, I don't consider anyone a bad person unless they're actively, like, trying to hurt people, which is, like, a horrible thing. Like, I don't get why people would do that. So, like, it's really, like, not hard to still be a good person even if you aren't religious.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the one thing that religion does. It's a good thing. It does give you that baseline of morals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, because there are people who are born, psychopaths, but they're born in the church. They learn that those behaviors aren't accepted, right? So it's like they learn to suppress those psychotic behaviors.
Right.
But I think the problem is some people get that confused with other certain behaviors, like, smoking and drinking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they think it's the same thing, and it's like, no, like that's a personal choice that you're causing on your own self.
Yeah.
It's not inflicting pain on anyone else. If that makes any sense. Which is where I think the morals come in.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think
also
that's
depends, like, on the group you're in.
yeah.
Like, when I came back from our mission, I was, like, here, and then I went, like, down, dude. It was bad, like, this one day. I remember this one day, really bad, like, I, like, drank so much, drove to Classic when I was, like, pretty bad. And then I drove back, and then I remember the whole night. And then after that day, I was like, alright, I gotta get my shit together, That's how I turned my tooth. That night.
Jesus.
Bad, it was bad. So,
Jeez.
yeah, and then, I just had to.
And that's the thing, like, we all go through that shit. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you just need that, fuck up moment where then you realize, like, I need to get my shit together.
Yeah, you can have that just moment of clarity, and it's going to hit you like a truck.
Yeah.
And, I mean, regardless, like, at that point, it's how you take it,
Yeah.
For me, it was definitely, like, I remember I came home, I was, like, just doing a lot of the things that I was doing, and I remember just feeling like, you keep this up, you're not going to like where you end up. And so at that point, I really knew, be like, oh, geez, all right, okay, cool. Gotta switch something up.
Literally.
Yeah.
After that, it was like, I was depressed for like a whole year. Anxiety was bad and all that stuff, and then...
Because I remember our parents met up, and your mom was
she was gone.
she was heartbroken, man. And I remember I remember seeing her, and I was like, God damn, Diego, you fucked up, man.
He could know.
But no, like, just, it's not all about...
Once again, I think it's why are you doing what you're doing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people will say that they're doing one thing because they're, want to have fun or they want to do this and that, but it's really because they maybe want to fit in, or maybe they are dealing with depression issues and they want to, try and feel happy, right?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like, if you really, like, for me, I do it because it relaxes me. Like, I smoke a shit ton of weed all the time. I'm high all the time because I have major ADD issues.
Right.
One, because I was born that way, and two, because I played a fucking offensive lineman when I was in high school.
Okay.
At 170 pounds, and I was getting my head bashed in every day. So I have permanent, I can show you guys, I have brain scans. I have permanent damage. My brain, so like your brain normally like curves off, but then mine goes like this, flattens off like this. So I have like major ADD issues, right?
Goodness.
So like when I'm not high, I'm like, I get irritated super quick, and like I don't like, those memes where you like walk in, can't remember why you walked into a room.
Yeah,
that happens every time I walk into any room. That's why I just stay in the same room all day. Because it's like it's the least.
Why am I gonna go out and then come back and be like, what the fuck am I
like,
doing here?
Why am I out here? What's going on?
Right? No.
But then when I'm high, it relaxes all that, and so like I feel like I'm normal.
Yeah.
Like, and like I have major social anxiety too. So like going skating when I'm not high, like it's rough.
It's rough.
It gets rough. Like that's why skate parties now, I won't go to one if it's not somewhere where shit's legal, because I'm not gonna try and go find a plug somewhere. Like that's why like skate parties that aren't in places where weed's legal, I can't do it.
Really?
Because like that's the thing. You think being in front of 400 people at Classic is bad? Try being in front of 2,000 people that can actually skate, and you're like a baby to them.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of anxiety. It's terrible.
It's hard. Yeah.
It's rough. But anyways,
I respect that.
So where do you guys like? Now that you're skating and you're gonna be on it for a while, but like, where do you guys want to get to? Like,
Don't get where y'all are
Dennis,
at.
dude.
Are you freaking kidding me? I want to be as good as Dennis.
Literally.
Like-
Honestly, I'm trying to be like Jay, dude. Jay's style in skating is
It's sick as fuck,
insane.
dude.
I
Jay
really-
style takes. You have to be fearless to be willing to just do whatever. yeah.
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 I don't think I've really seen Jay skate like that.
Oh man.
I'm always the one just looking at him just like,
Damn.
damn.
And you think he's good now, bro? Back in the day, he was something else.
Really?
Oh my gosh. Jay, back in the day, have you seen the skate crew kids?
No.
Oh, the classic skate.
Yeah,
crew?
the jam
One of
skater
the-
boys
yeah,
and all
Yeah,
that.
the skate crew kids, right?
Yeah.
Jay, back in the day, would whoop all of their
All of
asses.
them asses.
Really?
All
Yeah.
of them.
All of them.
Jay was the reason why I got into jam skating because
Really?
because the floor used to go to the back wall, right?
Yeah.
And in summer they would do the inflatables in the middle.
Yeah.
So then they would do the circles on the wall, so it'd be like a half circle, and then two people battling would be like in there,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, that's
So I was skating around the outside and slammed into the back of into like the crowd for the circle, and I was like, "What the fuck?" So I'm like going to the middle to like beat somebody's ass because I'm like, "What the hell? Why are y'all just standing here?"
Yeah.
And then I see Jay and Julio, which I don't know if you guys know who Julio is.
I feel like I know who he is.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, Julio was crazy back in the day too, but they were battling, and then when I watched them, I was like, "All right, I got to figure out how to do this shit." 'cause
How old was
that's
Jay at the
dope.
point?
I want to.
Jay was 15, I think, 15 or 16. And you think he's fearless now? Back then, it was.
Another story.
He
'Cause
didn't
that
give
was-
two fucks about
Bro,
anything.
yeah.
Like he would try. He would see something,
nuts.
try like
and get
right
it the
after.
first time. It was
Yeah.
insanity. He was, he's a different breed when it comes to skating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
But-
looking at whenever I see you and Dennis jam battle, or when you don't
Yeah.
go out there as much. As you
I don't.
used to.
I just.
You need
I
to.
went through that.
You
like.
need to.
Well, if you go back to my 2 years ago, like I was actually really good at jam skating, but then I just like.
Dude, you gotta get back out there.
I'll do it, but
Jam skating's fun every
it's
once
fun.
in a while,
But
not every night.
when I'm in my
Every night,
OGs,
that's
yeah,
rough.
I'll give it a shot. But I'll skate in my fivers for now.
I would just want to get good at stuff like that. I remember I had Dennis try and teach me some stuff one time. I don't remember a single thing he taught me, but that's just how I am.
Yeah,
My memory is
bro.
horrible. But like, it's just like seeing you guys do stuff like that is so sick. Like, it's a different like things, like form of skating. Like, I think I consider myself like up there, like when it comes to like skill wise of like, you know, like going around and like doing stuff. You know, like your call outs for like 1, 2, 3. I feel like I can pick up on stuff like that pretty quick. Like, it's not super difficult, but like jam skating is like a completely different world. I think it's so cool. I don't think it's like talked about enough or like brought up enough.
Well, and like I said, it's when you watch our jam skating, it's different. The jam skating nowadays, I think the reason why it's not brought up is because legit it is just breakdancing
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
skates. Like it's not. That's the thing is that's where we have the issues with jam skaters. It's because like back in the day, it's legit like we would do like different moves that were more like skating only type of deal.
Right.
Like where like probably 80% of jam skating moves now you could do on your feet and they'd look exactly the same.
Yeah.
Right. Back in the day, it was more 80% you could only do on skates, and then the other 20 was where you'd throw in like a couple ground moves and like power moves and handstands and front handsprings and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like how it is now, where it's air flares and windmills. And
Yeah.
it's just insanity now. But
Yeah.
So
anyways,
how'd you get back into that though? That's
what do you mean?
like go back to like how it was.
You just gotta slow it down. You gotta slow down your movements. You gotta, like I said, learn how to actually skate. Go and talk to people that actually like do middle work in the rhythm skate game. Because all it's gonna do is improve it, right? Because it's like I could show you a ton of dudes that go rhythm only in the middle, and they go harder than anyone you ever seen.
Yeah.
Like they're insanity. Like one we always talk about is T-Stacks.
Like in the party, like
Oh my
T-Stag, Diamond
goodness.
Walker.
No, Diamond's fast.
The
jam
Diamond's
skating
been
now.
getting into that.
Yeah,
But
one dude
like,
that I actually just figured out is Darian. What's the last name?
Daryl?
No, Darian. He's like a shorter white kid.
Darian. Oh, the dude from Sandy?
No. He's from Arizona, I think. He's a jam skater-ish, but he has more rhythm. He skates like how we used to skate back in the day.
Like the really, really short dude?
Oh,
You know who I'm talking
Darian,
about?
Darian,
Is
yeah,
it Counterfeit? Is
Darren,
that who was running it?
Darren Reyes.
Yeah. He
Oh
is
boy.
nuts.
Oh,
He is nuts.
We'll show you guys.
With
but
no power moves, he'd wipe all of us off the
Yeah.
floor. Like me included. Like would just
No, he yeah.
him and like T-Stacks. Suave is another one. Which
Suave.
I don't know if you've actually watched Suave.
I've watched Suave.
Suave. He's a DJ out in Houston, but he goes
baller,
hard.
bro.
He's who I try and emulate now.
Yeah.
Like when I skate, that's what I'm trying to skate like is Suave.
Yeah, it's Suave.
Because his swag is just
Crazy.
100.
But like that's the
He's
thing,
so
like
damn fly, I love it.
Utah's jam skating culture compared to like the rest,
Yeah.
you're just like, what the fuck? Like
Well,
here's not that big, but like in Cali, Vegas, like Texas, Arizona, like they go hard, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, in those places, because think about it, they have the actual culture around them, right?
Yeah.
So they have people that aren't going to let them do shit half-assed, right? And they actually take the advice. Like, that's a huge problem with some of the jam skaters in Sandy
Utah.
and in Utah in general.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, do this way. No, I do it my way. Well, that's not the way you do it, but okay, go fuck yourself. Like, like you're not doing it correct, and that's why it doesn't
And
look
like
right.
and like
right?
let's go back to like the music shit. Like some of these jam skaters, bro. Like they are just all they do is power, and they're never on fucking beat, bro. And you just stay there like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
What do you mean by power slide? Like power moves?
Like windmills,
Windmills,
Yeah,
like backflips, and all that kind of shit. Like
shit that you can do on feet. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like, that kind of stuff. That's not skating. That's
Yeah.
just you're breakdancing with skates on your feet. Now the transitions within that's where the little part of skating is.
Yeah.
And the footwork that they do, some of it is more skating-esque. But even some of the footwork that you can do on foot, it's like there's no like I don't know. I feel like there's a layer of a level of difficulty that's just not like brought up to them anymore. And I think it's honestly because they don't have anyone to tell them that they're doing it wrong.
Right.
Yep.
Because that's how it was. Like when Skate Crew first started, that's how it was. Because the GM of Sandy was the one that ran it, right?
Oh, really?
And so he wasn't a jam skater, but he was like, I also want you guys to look good, so I want you to listen to these people that know what they're doing, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And he was very like, you know, drill sergeant-esque, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
he was, you know, you do it and you're gonna like it whether you do it,
Yeah.
whether you're gonna do it whether you like it or not, type of deal.
Yeah.
So,
So
but that's how Clark was too. Back
Yeah.
when we were.
have you guys met Clark?
Yeah.
You guys know Clark?
No clue.
Clark's one of the coolest people you ever meet.
Really?
So we've said it before, but like he looks like such a bitchy. Like he looks bitchier than us. But like when you get to meet him and when he actually teaches you shit, he's the coolest people you will ever meet.
Yeah.
Like Clark, this is how you have to understand with Clark. Clark has such a love for skating that like when he starts to skate, he just gets in his own little world.
Yeah.
So like he's just doesn't think about anything
He
else.
doesn't like skating is his own thing.
So he comes.
That's it.
So his like energy already is like, leave me alone. I'm in my own world,
Yeah.
right? And so like that's where it comes off. The people in Sandy call him the angry old man
Oh,
because he just skates around.
That's
Because he skates around by himself with his headphones on, and then when they get in his way, he just fucking
He did that
shoves
to
them
you
off the floor.
all day.
Yeah. Like,
my bad.
and that's the thing is like you may take that like as
No,
a
I
bad thing.
respect it, I mean,
No, I'm just saying people
Yeah.
will take that as a bad thing. But what like he's explaining to me, he's like, no, I just know that if I run into you with all my body weight, that's gonna hurt a lot more than if
Than
I
me
just
pushing you.
do this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so, but there has been times, and you can ask him about it next time you see him. Ask him about the time that he such a terrible way to say this, but train railed a dude with him and his old crew at Classic.
shit.
He tells a story where he hit one guy because the guy was like pissing off the entire group, right? He was like getting in the way for like 4 laps straight or something like that. Anyways, but Clark like hits him the first time, and then doesn't realize that everyone else in the line is piling on and giving a shot to this guy as they go by.
No.
So he gets up in the air and he's like twisting in the air and like lands on the ground.
Oh, no.
And then they come back around and he's like crawling off the floor. Like, yeah. That's why I say like when he does it now, that's all.
Yeah.
He's just trying to get you out of the way
Yeah,
so he doesn't run into you. But anyways,
It's just a courtesy rule.
Yeah.
Nudge.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like even we do it.
Yeah.
Pass
Yeah,
it
you have to
around.
do it. You have to do it at some points.
Yeah.
And sometimes like you'll see us yelling like move the fuck out of the way because like it just like again like we just get frustrated when people are like moving
down.
you know to the side every time you walk by. So
Yeah.
My people are I hate the undecided people.
Where they like
Where
go
they're
back
like,
and forth.
yeah, they like creep this way, and you're like, okay, so now I'm gonna go this way, and then they start creeping this way. Okay, this way. And like, get out of my fucking way! Just let me go! Gosh!
Yeah.
I remember this one time. I I haven't seen Jordy in forever, but
Dude, yeah.
Yeah,
Jordy's
we miss
best,
Jordy,
man.
man.
he's super. So, looking at this guy, before I even talk to him, I'm terrified of him. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm being completely honest, like he's a scary looking guy. Like, he's actually one of the nicest people I've ever talked to for sure. But like, I remember this one time, I drilled him when I was going backwards, and then I like turned. I was doing I don't know that one move. It's like we can do it to boogie that B. You know, where you turn and you like hit your skate.
Oh, it's video's turn. That's what we call it.
Okay, whatever that is. Yeah. I think I was doing that, or I was trying to. And I like turned, and he was right there, and I was like, "Well, here we go,
Here we go."
Yeah. So I knocked him down, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I thought I was gonna die at that point because I didn't like knowing him. I was like, "Oh goodness, But yeah, he was really cool about it. But I remember like just being like, then so like he told me like you gotta like relax. You can be like doing that. Like, I felt so bad. I was like, "Are you okay?" Like, that was fun, but,
yeah. Well, don't let Jordy fool you. If he wants to get in, he'll beat your ass.
Yeah. Oh, I don't doubt that for a
Jordy's-
second, but
Jordy's
that's why I was scared. But like
No,
actually talking to him now, like he's actually like, really nice guy.
Yeah, we miss Jordy coming down for sure,
Bro, he's one of my favorite people in the world.
Yeah.
Like when we went to Cali, he's what made that trip enjoyable. He 100% honest. Because me and him in the back of the car, like I'll show you guys these videos once we are done, but we have all these videos where we're doing the weirdest shit, but it's so funny.
Yeah.
But Jordy's one of my favorite people.
Yeah. No, he's doing his own shit now.
He's getting busy.
He hurt his foot not too long ago, so. But yeah, we love Jordy, so he needs to come back on the podcast.
Yeah.
Good. I'm back.
But
alrighty. All right, guys.
Should we do some top fives?
Top 5 skaters in Utah.
Jeez.
We'll start with Diego.
Go for it.
My top 5 would for sure probably like maybe you two, because you guys are freaking good, and then Dennis,
hands down
Dennis, and then Jay.
Dennis? No, it's just kidding.
No, Jay, of course. I don't know who the 5th one be. Damn, that's hard. Probably Jordy.
Yeah.
Jordy's style is
Jordy's
crazy.
just so clean.
Yeah.
I think I'd agree with that. Definitely you two, Dennis, Jordy. I haven't really seen Jay skate as much,
really,
so I don't really know.
Doesn't come as often.
Yeah, he doesn't like
yeah.
Who's that other guy who also like sometimes he has the same skates as you guys?
Darian?
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. I think every time I see him, like he's just really just clean. Like his wins are so clean.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dang. So that's probably my.
I like
I like it, dude.
Alrighty,
Sweet, man.
We're gonna end this with a random topic, and it's about to get real serious.
Oh no.
So this week,
I'll be honest, I kind of don't want to talk about it because I already lost my shit and cried about it. But if I have to, like, I will. But
like I said, we'll keep it
composed.
Yeah. Anyways,
I mean,
as you guys know, Black Lives Matter a year ago started.
Yeah.
And
well, it didn't start a year ago.
No, it did start. It's been forever, but
it started around
protesting started about a year-ish ago.
Well, after the George Floyd incident, protesting started, and then a video came out this week that apparently happened in December.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Apparently it was in December. That's what I've read, that it was in December, and it's just coming out now, which is even more infuriating because it's like, why hasn't this been shown yet?
Yeah.
Right.
But it was a video of the cops basically harassing a U.S. military veteran.
That was of color.
That was a black man. And
we've
talked about these issues before on the podcast, and I just want to get your guys' insight. So, go ahead.
You guys can go ahead, because
he's going to start yelling. I think it's, regardless, like, it's a horrible situation in and of itself. Like, this man is clearly, like, he was in uniform, too. That's
uniform. That's what pisses me off, that this guy of color was in his military uniform getting threatened by white cops, and you can see clearly in the video that the left cop was like, get the fuck out of the car, and the one in the right was like, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah.
Like, he was scared. But like, how do people not realize? Like, what's the point of being racist?
Yeah.
Inside of us, we are all the same. Outside of us, it's just fucking color. Like, it just irritates me, man. Like, it goes back to me being bullied in fucking Linden, like, elementary school and junior. Like, people treated me like shit because of my hair. Like, what's the point of being racist? Like, is there a definition of that? What's the point of being racist? There's not.
This is how you grow
Like,
up.
it's annoying. It's
Well-
frustrating at this point.
Well, the point, and this is...
Sorry,
I
but
just want to point this out. This is not the way that I feel, but I just want to explain this.
Yeah.
The point of racism is oppression.
Mhm.
The point of racism is power. And that's why a lot of people, like Chico Bean, feels that people in minorities can't be racist because they're in no position of power. Because that's the only thing that racism can really affect, is your influence over someone. The way that it's affecting you right now is exactly what they want. And that's why you got to keep yourself composed.
Yeah.
And that's why that vet did exactly what he should have.
Yeah.
And even though he had a fucked up situation happen to him, he did exactly what he should have because he was showing, I'm no threat. I'm legit. Just telling you, I'm not getting out of this car because I'm in fear for my life.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you're supposed to do. And the thing that makes me irritated with this is the cop on the left, the one that's talking.
Yeah.
He's just so much of a pussy, I can't even believe it. Like, what? I just don't. Maybe this is. And that's the thing is, I have anger issues. Maybe that's why it frustrates me. Is because like I even know my anger issues. That's not how that's going down.
Literally, yeah.
Like I'm just gonna be like, you know what? Fucking have a nice day. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Right. So like at that point, why are you still doing this shit? Like you're already. You see that he's not gonna comply with you. If it's not a major thing, let the motherfucker go.
And he wasn't.
Right. Like if it was like a like they thought that this guy was like a murderer or like had done some crazy shit, then that's one thing to be like, no, get out of the car,
Yeah.
right? But if like I don't even know what the offense was for, I read up on it, but like if it's like a speeding ticket or he ran through a stop sign or some shit,
I know.
why?
I know.
Why?
Like why are you like? And that's
Yeah.
what I think. Like these cops to me are just fucking losers because like you just have nothing else in your life to like put
It's
that
always
type of
just-
energy into.
yeah.
Like you're just so frustrated with how life is going that you want to make others miserable.
Yeah.
Because the cops that are like chill with life are the good cops that are just like, all right, you know
Right.
what? I understand that. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Because they're not worried about that. They're like, oh, it's a speeding ticket. Who
Yeah.
cares? He ran a stop sign. Like whatever. You know.
Yeah.
like it comes to like the mistakes here. Like, hey, you made a mistake. Like it's gonna be
Exactly.
fine.
Yeah.
But like not fucking threaten him to fucking kill him right there. Like
Yet they still pepper sprayed his ass.
And
pepper
that's the
spray,
most
that's
pussy
the pussy shit ever.
ever. Pepper spray?
Seriously.
Are you kidding me?
Which is
And the fact that he did it twice, he's like,
He
all
missed
right,
the first
fuck
time,
you.
too, like-
And then he did like, what's the point of it?
Didn't they do it to him while he was sitting in his car still?
Yeah.
He was in his car. Like, what is that gonna do?
And the fact that he like opened his fucking door, yanked him out of the car, and the dude was like, I'm fucking scared right now. Like,
That's the thing.
oh
It's like,
man, it's just.
I read up on it, and it was like, the reason why he pulled him over was because he got a new car. He had the paper license plate on his
the
window.
temporary.
Yeah, and the tint was too much, so you could see it, but not as good.
Steve, why?
So then they pulled him over, and they like started harassing. The second cop was just confused because it was just like something.
Well, and that happens too.
Yeah.
Like you get overwhelmed. That's the thing. That's where I think cops it should be a way higher standard.
Yeah.
It's like because those are the kind of cops that we don't need. The ones that won't do anything bad, but they also won't do anything to help when bad shit goes down.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's not the kind of cops we need.
Yeah.
And that's why I think people just getting through the academy and shit.
And
It's
like
just
again, I have a lot
ridiculous.
of respect for officers.
Yeah.
Like and same with like military people, anybody. Like you guys do a lot of shit for us, but like when you treat someone like shit, and it's someone of color. Like if it was someone like white, then it doesn't really matter. But it's when someone of color, like that's when it irritates me the most.
Yeah.
Because it goes back to the George
Well,
Floyd
it's still. This is the thing is it still matters, but the pretense behind it is different, which is why it changes the view on it, right? Because if it was a white dude, he's just cussing out a white dude, and you look like a dumbass,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're just harassing another white dude, right? But because it's a person of color, then it automatically gets turned into a racism thing, which I think it is. But I'm just saying, we can't say that it doesn't matter as much. It's that it's viewed differently.
I don't think anybody should have been treated that way.
No,
Like,
no one
Nobody
should.
Nobody should.
Yeah, regardless of the situation, it was just completely just the cops in the wrong, obviously, in that situation.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of stuff like that happens that we just like overlook. One thing, what I think is interesting, but like as soon as it is turned into a race thing, that's when like things get big about it.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's like a lot of like, cops who mistreat people, harass people every single day, But like, it goes unnoticed.
Yeah. Well, and I think, like I said, I think there is more, and I think there is a bias, and there's more of a tendency to go at people of color and harass them. Because in all reality, I've dealt with cops more times than I care to in my lifetime, right?
Yeah.
And I will say, in my experience, I get treated way differently when I'm with my friends of color versus when I'm not.
Really?
Like,
Really?
I remember this one time I got pulled over, me and my buddy, there's this black kid that I was hanging out with, and we got pulled over in West Valley. And immediately, cops were like, what are you guys doing out here? And we were like, oh, we're just driving around. Just chilling, just driving around.
Where'd you
Like,
get
all
pulled
right,
over?
we're at West Valley.
Okay.
On 33rd South. And it was like, we're just driving, just chilling. He's like, all right, we'll wait here. Takes our licenses, takes it back to his car, comes back. I'm going to need both of you guys to step out of the vehicle. I was like, for what?
Yeah.
He's like, we just need you to step out of the vehicle. I was like, what the hell? So, like, nothing even happened. Like, it was just a misunderstanding. I guess my buddy fit a description, is what they said.
Oh my
Really?
God.
Which is like, I think that's bullshit. I think you saw a black dude and a white kid that looks like he's from the hood
Yeah.
driving around at 2 o'clock in the morning, and you thought we were up to some bullshit.
Yeah.
And, like, legit, I've never felt this kind of, like, just wanting to tear somebody's head off before.
Yeah.
Not even this cop, because he was talking to me like I was a damn child. He's like, should we take you guys to jail? Should we take you guys to jail? And I was like, motherfucker, if you didn't have that damn badge on that gun, I would beat the fuck out of you right now. Like, I was like to that point, and that's where I understand when the retaliation happens too in those kind of situations.
They're looking for that other thing.
Yeah.
I know, and that's the problem.
That's the problem. Dude.
And that's why I say we got to keep it in check, because the more that you keep it in check, the worse they look. And that's the thing. Like with that video, that's why one of the reasons why the George Floyd video was so huge and so, like, impacting, is because he legit wasn't doing anything, and he got fucking kneed on. And then you see this dude looking right into the camera. Basically, you could see it in his eyes. He's like, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker, and I'm gonna get away with it.
And look where
And
he's
I'm
at
like,
now, motherfucker.
Like,
Fuck him, bro.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
fuck
it's
him.
just, it's insanity. I just don't understand it. I
But
don't understand.
no, like
this shit.
again, like I've dealt with cops my whole life. Junior high, I did some of the dumbest shit you could ever think of, and I had this one officer, Officer Campbell, that
Dang.
just always picked on me. Nobody else, always me. And one time he was threatening me. He like, there was a robbery at Walmart, and I want to know if it's you.
What?
He came to school, he pulled me out of class, and he was like, is this you? Like, threatening me. And I'm like, that's not me. I'm like, I can look for these guys, but that's not me. And you're being very racist right now, because his hand was on the gun.
What?
Yeah.
And I felt very threatened. And again, like, I get pulled over all the fucking time. Like, I'm always doing stupid shit. But when it comes to that, and it's cops, just be honest with them.
Literally.
Because, like, where is it going to take you if you're not honest with them?
Yeah.
Your ass is going to sit in the fucking car behind.
Yeah.
But, like, just, cops, like, they're doing a good job, but when it comes to that,
Well, once again, I think it's because...
And that's what society makes us. Like, society has been a big thing, too.
Yeah. Well, I think it's more cops, honestly, this is what frustrates me. Cops aren't held to the same standard that everyone else is. And that's what's frustrating, because they shouldn't be. They should be held to a higher standard, right? But that's the thing, is if a cop kills somebody, and that's the thing, is if it's even a hint of it being on purpose, or that you can see, right, that it's on purpose, and that, like, the person's not fighting back, there's no, like, real altercation, because, I mean, there's shootouts that happen where the cops are going to kill someone, right? Yeah. But that's because they're shooting back, right? But if it's an unarmed person, and they can clearly see that, like, there's nothing this dude could have done to this cop, and he killed them, he should go to jail immediately because you're held to a higher standard. You should be held to a higher standard. And the fact of you should be protecting the community at all costs. So that means you're not killing anybody either. You should be like, and that's the thing is I think a lot of cops think that way. But the problem is those cops, like the cop in that video, aren't willing to step up when that kind of shit happens.
Yeah.
They're not willing to look at their cop buddy and be like, yo, knock that shit off. Like we're not out here for that.
Yeah.
And there's cops out there like that, but like majority, they're not doing shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the 3 other officers with George Floyd thing. They're just standing there while this guy's kneeing on his neck. It's just ridiculous. Anyways, and can I just say one thing that irritates the fuck out of me with the George Floyd thing? Because I'm seeing this happen. This brought up a lot now. When they say that his actual cause of death was a overdose.
It wasn't.
No, it was.
It was, but
it was caused by extreme stress from being held
on
down on the fucking ground.
Like a fucking knee.
I hate these fucking retard racists that are like, he didn't even die because of the knee. He died because he overdosed. I was like, no, he overdosed because of the knee.
Yeah.
And that's what killed him.
It's been happening for so long.
It's just, it's ridiculous.
Well,
Let's lighten the mood. Like,
do you guys believe in white privilege? Because we talked about that with Mose. Do you guys believe in white privilege?
Not really, if I'm being completely honest. I didn't hear what Mose had to say about it. I want to hear. I definitely got to go back and hear his take on it. But I had a buddy who actually explained it to me, and the way he put it actually made a lot of sense. Like, if you think about it, yeah, there will be a lot of situations where, maybe a person of color in the hood growing up, they're not going to have the great, privilege of someone who's not of color, like growing up in Utah, But the thing is, is that because of the color of their skin, or is that because of the situation and the opportunity? Like, think about Bronny James.
Mm-hmm.
That kid is set up for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
There is no way you can tell me he's not. Or, the entire Ball family.
Yeah.
They're all these guys that, they're people of color, but the thing is, they clearly have, everything that they need. LeBron James, he struggled for a lot. And then, in the documentaries, he talks about it. And then, Bronny James, his son, and, his entire family are probably not going to have, as much of a struggle as he did because, LeBron James is, in my opinion,
Hardworking.
He's incredibly hardworking, greatest player in the NBA, honestly. Unpopular opinion, but LeBron James, Michael Jordan. Sorry.
Oh.
We're not going to get into that right now. I see the piece there. We're going to get into that right now. But
we'll get at it right after.
I'm not going to be invited back.
All I got to say is 6-0.
All right. We're not getting into this right now, like I said. But anyway, so it's I don't know. Bronny James is having an opportunity that's better than anyone in this room.
Oh, yeah.
So, exactly. So it's it's not necessarily a privilege of skin color. I think depending on I definitely think there has been situations with businesses and stuff like that hiring certain individuals over others just because of maybe skin color, ethnicity, stuff like that. I don't think that's not a thing. I don't think that's never happened. But I think white privilege in and of itself, I don't know. I just don't. I think it's more based on opportunity and circumstance.
That's true.
I will agree with that, but I will say this, and this is what we told Mo, because he kind of has the same kind of view. He sees it as those kind of acts where you hire someone over someone isn't white privilege. That's just light racism, basically. That's kind of his view.
I mean, that's kind of what white privilege is in itself.
Yeah. Well, this is where I have a different definition for it, and that's why I do believe it's extremely prevalent.
Okay.
And this comes from Emmanuel Acho. You guys know who Emmanuel Acho is?
Don't think I
He's
do.
the Uncomfortable Conversations with Black Man. You guys ever seen that video floating around?
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah. Anyways, he's that dude. But his definition of white privilege, it's not that your life hasn't been hard. It's that the difficulty of your life has never been, the color of your skin has never been accredited to the difficulty in your life as a white person, right? Because, in the past, things are better now. They're getting better now. But we can't ignore the past in where it was your life could have been difficult just because you were black or just because you were brown.
Yeah, agreed.
Right? And so that's where I will say I do have some white privilege, but I also see the other side of it, where I'm white, and still I've been harassed by the cops, and I've been, treated like shit, and people have gotten jobs over me multiple times because of the way that I dress and the way that I talk and all that kind of shit, right? And so, like I said, I maybe see the quality of life argument over the light racism that they call white privilege, basically. But also another thing you have to put into factor is the systemic racism when it comes to the laws that were put in place. The redlining laws, where legit you couldn't get a house back in the day because you were a certain skin color, right? You couldn't get loans if you were a certain skin color. Even today, it's harder for people of color to get loans, bank loans, than it is for white people. Which I think, there's so many factors that go into that, so I don't know if that's a fair argument to make. But like I said, there's certain things where, even if you think of, even at your opportunity point, it's like probably 99% of schools, I know, we'll just say in Utah, because this is the only part that I know. In Utah, schools are funded based on your property taxes, right? They take a portion of property taxes in that area, in your school area, and that funds what your school can do.
Right.
So that's why schools in the ghetto usually are shitty schools, because they don't have money, because the houses around them don't have the property value, right? Mm-hmm. And that's where the redlining comes in, where the systemic stuff comes in, because if you're redlining all these people of color to one area that's a shitty area that has no property value, and then you're building schools, then you're just perpetuating the cycle, right? Yeah. Where white people have lived in these nice neighborhoods with property value high, and then their schools, then they already start out with better teachers, better books, better opportunities for it. And like I said, any person, if you even look at LeBron James, any person can come out of that if they have the drive and determination to. Yeah. But I think what people should be fighting for is everyone should start out at a base, and where you go from the baseline is on you, right? Yeah. So I think every school should have equal funding all across the board, because that's legit, that is the baseline, right? Yep. If you decide to do good in school and you decide to if you decide to drop out and be a bum, then be a bum, right? That's just the course of your life. You can't say that was put on by a systematic racism issue that's holding you under oppression, right? So, anyways, let's lighten the mood.
Respect to everybody.
Let's lighten the mood. Let's do a fun topic.
Fun topic. Let's do it.
What is the funniest thing you've seen while skating?
Okay. So there's this kid. Bless
He's
his
like
heart.
right out. He's like, all right.
Bless
So
his
there's
heart.
this motherfucking kid.
There's this kid. Bless his heart. Super, super nice guy.
I know who he's talking about.
And I love him to death. He's a regular. Comes typically in the mornings, afternoonish, not the evening. And so he's super nice guy. I talk to him every time. Ask him. I went to high school with his sister, and he's a decent skater. He's definitely what he's doing. He can do a couple things. But I remember this one time, I was talking to one of my coworkers at the skate counter. I was behind the skate counter, and then I look over and I see this kid. I cannot express to you enough. My jaw dropped because he's just flopping around on the ground, like a fish. I cannot. He's trying to jam skate, which is awesome. And he's just going. His body's literally just flopping back and forth like a fish. And I was like. And I was looking around. I was like, is anyone else seeing this right now? And he's awesome and everything, and he's having a good time. He's smiling, jamming. He has his headphones in, and I was like, you know what, good for you. But I'm looking at him, and he's just flipping around. I was like, what is happening? Too good. I laughed so hard after that. It was too good. I loved it.
Oh man,
he's a great kid. Love him to death.
Anyone else?
Probably something about me, honestly. When I first started skating, I had my rubber wheels on, the outdoor wheels, and I was trying to impress the cool bench.
These two.
Yeah, I was like, shit, they're cool. No, but I was going around, and then my foot caught, and I just bent in.
I hate when that happens, bro.
And then I fell straight onto my collarbone. Next thing I'm limping around. I had to go to the ER and stuff.
The funniest thing I've seen was when this motherfucker was when you broke your foot.
Yeah, that
dude,
was bad.
It was bad, bro.
It was funny for a second, but then I was like, oh crap, that was on New Year's too.
Dude.
Well, I saw you. That's the thing. I saw this motherfucker fall, and I'm like, he'll be okay. And then I go around 2 times, and I see him on the ground. I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, Moses, let's go.
Yeah.
And me and Moses going, we're like, oh shit. And then after that, I was like, I stood up and I'm like, fuck 2020, this is bullshit. And then Paul was like, hey, what's your language? No, but the funniest thing, for me, dude, it was when I first started skating. And it was when, like, I was barely, like, getting to know Dory and Dennis, because I thought they were, like, when you guys first met them, did you think they were, like, a couple and shit?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember when I thought they weren't, and I my mind just was.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
So then I was like, that's when, like, that same day, like, I started talking to Dennis, and I'm like, so how are you and your wife? He's like, that's not my wife, bro. That's like my best friend right there. And I'm like, oh shit.
Like,
and then like I started going around and doing shit. I fell 6 times going around. So I fell once. I went again. I fell.
Oh no.
Went again 6 fucking times. And then at the end of the night, Dennis was like, "You good, bro? Because I saw you eating shit all night long." And I'm like, "Yeah, man." And then I went home and I had bruises all over my fucking leg.
Damn.
So.
Oh man.
Oh.
I'm trying to think of mine.
Remember Kobe's birthday party?
Not really, honestly. I don't really.
Well, this was in like 2019,
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
and they were doing the jam line round, and some motherfucker decided to go right in front of the jam line.
No.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh, bro! So it was bad. So I was like third
Yeah, I remember
person
that.
into it. Some motherfucker just decides to go right into it, and I fell like front head and hit my head with Dre.
Oh.
And bro, everyone was like,
It was a big old pile.
"Oh
It was
my
bad.
god, bro, it was bad."
It was
Like
bad.
I stood
Dre.
and I was sitting down for like 5 minutes. I'm like, "Yeah, just give me a second." Like it was bad,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
oh.
The funniest time for me is watching Dennis skate. Just in general. I'm just joking around.
No, he's not.
I'm joking.
Oh.
I'm trying to think. Of the funniest skating story I have. Because we already told time where Houston got me fucked over. Let's see. I can't think of one right now. Mine's going blank.
All right.
Whoa.
What's the worst like fall you've had then?
Oh my god.
Worst fall I had. Oh, this actually happened probably a year ago. It was a Tuesday night up in Sandy.
Okay.
And it was right before they kicked off all the scooters because they do that for jam time.
I remember this.
Remember that? So
oh my
I
god.
was skating around. I was going a little too fast for the crowd that was there.
Right.
And so I split between these two people doing 180, or I was going into a 360, but I split between them, basically side surfing.
Okay.
Right. Split between them, did the 180, came back around, and there was this little kid with a skate mate right there.
Oh.
And I grabbed the skate mate, kid dropped, I dropped, skate mate hit me in the face, and I was wearing glasses, so I got this cut like right up here, and it was just bleeding everywhere, and there was like a cut here too.
That's gnarly, dude.
It was
That's
bad.
rough.
That was a fun fall.
Mine was when I first. Well, I'm falling a lot, but like the worst of the worst was when I first got my Woodies, and it was my first pair, and it was the same day I broke them.
Oh no.
So I had them for like maybe like 2 months. You remember this?
I don't know if I remember that.
I was just going around hauling ass, and then Moses grabbed me, and then he like let go of me, and then I just like fucking like stepped hard, and both of my 4 wheels just snapped, and I went head first like.
Oh my god.
Oh, bro, and then I was bleeding. I can't remember, but I was bleeding like a bit. But oh my god, bro, I was like, God damn, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, that was that night. I remember breaking my wheels. And I felt like I had a flat tire. I broke one of them, and then it was like, I was like, what the hell?
Bad. Oh goodness. I remember one time. This is the reason I lace my skates up the way I do is because they came undone one time, and like it's like
lace.
you know with the shirt grip one, like the boardwalks, you have to like put it through loops.
Yeah.
And so it like came undone from the loops, and it got caught in my wheels. Literally, I was just going around. I was going a little faster. Moral of the story: don't go fast. I was
go faster than you can.
Yeah, exactly. I was going a little quicker, and I literally stopped just on a dime, literally, and like my body just kept going. I landed right on like my shoulder, and just completely knocked the wind just right out of me. It wasn't that bad, like looking back, but I thought I was gonna die. Like, and then I don't know if do you guys know Tage Kennan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he comes up to me. He just like I just see him come over. And he's like, "Bro, are you okay?" He's like laughing at me, and I was like, like I could not breathe. It was so bad. It was, I thought I broke like my collarbone at that point. I was like, I'm gonna die.
Don't worry about that.
Good old dog.
You want to hear the most embarrassing skating story I have?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So this was when I lived up in Idaho, in where was it? Idaho Falls.
Okay.
There's this little skating rink out there. But this was when I was first learning how to do power moves. So I was first learning how to do a front handspring, and I could do it on feet. I could kind of do it on feet. I would like land and then roll back, so I could like get the momentum all the way. Right? But then I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it on skates. And this was like my second night ever going to this rink. Went right out in the middle of the floor, tried it, did not get enough spin on it.
No.
Dropped straight on my back, knocked the wind out of me. I was just sitting there, laying in the middle of the floor, just like,
Yeah.
right? And then I get up and everybody's just staring at me like,
Oh,
what
no.
the fuck?
You good?
I'm like, I'm okay. And I start
I'm alive. I'm alive.
Yeah.
It was the worst.
Jesus.
My worst probably be New Year's. For sure.
Yeah.
Me and my girlfriend were like just goofing around, and I was doing like just doing the dips.
Yeah.
And there was these 3 girls in front of me that were way too close for comfort. And
They were high school girls. Because I remember, and they go to my fucking school, so.
Oh my.
It was your fault. It was your fucking fault.
Yeah, and then I like try to like get back up and stuff, like try to play it off. And then like I trip and I fall back and my foot just gets caught and I feel the snap.
Oh my
And at this point I
God.
was on ibuprofen, so I was like, fuck, like I don't know if I broke it or anything. So then I was just on the floor like, shit, I'm done, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, probably
That
beat my
sucks.
Luckily, it wasn't as bad as we thought.
yeah, just a torn ligament.
Because I thought you broke that shit. Like, I
Oh,
thought
I
you
did too.
snapped that shit and then you just fractured it.
And then playing soccer, I did the same to this one. So now both of my feet are just
Wrecked.
grandpa feet, dude.
Have you ever broken a... Yeah, you've broken bones before.
I've never actually like broken. I've gotten a stress fracture before in my wrist, but that was from skating actually.
Really?
I went off because we were at a skate park, and I went. You know how they have the boxes? There was this one where it was like inclined like this on one side, and then it was just straight on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I went off the incline one, trying to jump to the straight one, and just did not
Oh,
do it
no.
right at all, and just came down straight on my wrist. And I just like felt pain, but I couldn't like tell. So then I
Yeah.
skated another parade, was doing hands and shit.
Oh no.
And then I woke up the next morning and I was like, my wrist hurts like a bitch right now. I'm like, I don't know what happened. And then my stepdad, he used to be a physical therapist. He was like, felt around. He's like, I think you have a stress fracture. And I was like, all right, cool. He's like, just wear a brace. You'll be fine. I was like, all right, cool.
That's tough.
But I've dislocated shit a lot. Like my shoulders. I've subluxed my shoulders multiple times for football. Getting blindsided by people.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the
Worst.
worst.
The worst. Because you're just not expecting it at all. You're just running
and then
along
you're
and
on
all of
the
a sudden, boom! You're like, oh, shit.
It's fun doing it to other people, but
Oh, yeah, it's my favorite. It's my favorite thing in the world. Laying people out.
it's
Great.
great. feeling.
It's a great feeling.
Good old
Especially if it's someone that like has been pissing you off for the game.
Dude, that's the best feeling.
Best.
Yeah.
I remember we were playing this one team. In Montana, we have the little rinky-dink schools, like I told you guys earlier. My graduating class was 90 for all the viewers out there. Corvallis High School, Blue Devils. Woo. Anyways, we were playing this team, Anaconda, and these boys were known for being just the dirtiest fucking players ever. Like they would like punch you in the ribs as soon as they were going by you, all this kind of shit. So I was playing left tackle at this time. I had just got switched from left guard to left tackle, and the end. They were trying to do like one of the speedy DNs where they're like this tiny kid that is fast but really doesn't have any power, which I was like, great, I'm only 180 pounds at the time, so cool.
Works for me.
I'm like, I'm not fucking blocking somebody who's 6'5" and 320 like I was a couple games ago. And so this kid is doing it every time. Every time he comes in and I get him locked up, he just starts punching me in the ribs. And I'm like, what? I'm like, all right, bro. It's like, you don't want to do this.
This is going to happen.
So then we get in this play, and now, mind you, I was a junior that was starting over 2 seniors that were both bigger than me at offensive line. So in practice, they were pissed and beating my ass up in practice every fucking day, right? So this little 160-pound D end is not doing shit to me.
Yeah.
And so he thinks he's doing shit, and so he's grabbing me and starting to headbutt me, right?
What?
On this one play. And the play's like, we're already like almost touchdown because these guys were trash. They were just garbage. So our running back's almost to the end zone, and I legit grabbed this kid, picked him up, and tossed him back like 7 yards, and then walked up to him and was like towering over and said, "You really want to do this?"
Yeah.
And he just looked up at me, got up, and he's like, "Whatever, bitch." And I was like, "Yeah, we gonna see. We gonna see for the rest of the game."
Yeah.
And then we beat him like 34-0. And as we were in the line, he passed me, and we both just fucking shoulder checked each other.
Yeah.
He like
He went flying. You didn't even move.
No. He went fucking his shoulder turned. His teammate was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "Fuck you." Just kept walking.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It was a good time.
I remember this one time when I was playing. This guy like hit me in the back after the play was over.
Oh.
I got taken out for like we had like a special play that we ran with these guys. I got taken out for like a second. I was sitting on the sideline, and I was screaming, and I was cussing this kid out so bad. I was like, "That cheap shot and son of a bitch! I swear!" I was getting so mad. So then a couple plays later, I go back in, and I'm paired up against him, and so I fake him out. The play goes the other way, and so he starts going, and I see him passing. So I'm like over here, and he's going this way, and so I just beeline it. I don't think I've ever moved that fast in my life. I just beelined it right up next to him. I just like got up where he could like see me briefly. I just put my shoulder down, just boom, just like from underneath him. Afterwards, like he was like a smaller dude, and I was like just like looking over him. I was like, yeah. I was like,
Yep.
So
try that again. I was like, do it again. I dare you. So funny. After I literally hear him on the ground, just go.
Oh man.
Oh, good times.
Well, I remember one time I got hit so hard in practice I went mannequin.
No way.
Dead ass. We were in practice. So I'm an offensive lineman, right? And it's a play where our offense was mainly read options. So
Okay.
one lineman at any time was going up at linebacker, right? So what happened to be the lineman that was going up to the linebacker. And the linebacker that was in practice with me was the person that I had just stolen his spot like a week earlier.
Oh no.
Oh no.
He's angry.
So he's not even looking for the play. He's looking to just take me out, right? So I'm doing perfect lineman steps, walking up, the drudge walk, getting ready to, that. He hits me, and I just go stiff. I'm like, drop on the ground. Next day we're watching film, and my offensive lineman coach, he's such an asshole. He goes, as soon as I walk in, he goes, "You guys want to see some funny shit?"
No.
I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Oh, we're going to see it." And he played the video, and I was just like, "Oh, man, that's just bad."
Oh,
I legit, it looked like I did the mannequin challenge right in the middle of practice. I was just like, so bad. My legs were all stiff enough, too, because I was, like, in a squatting position. I was like, I'm just like, I look like a bug on my back.
Oh, no.
So funny. Good times.
Damn.
Good times.
Man,
Good times.
good times, bro.
Good times for sure.
Good times back in high school.
So,
All right.
anything
Well,
else, you guys?
Anything else? Any questions for us?
No, I don't think so.
No?
Went over a lot, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we had a lot. This is good.
Well, thank you guys for coming.
Oh, thank you for
Appreciate it.
This is
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Alvaro the Avocado.
JB, Gary,
And we're out.
Matthew, Diego, and we're out.
Peace.
Autobots.